Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to On Geek. Quick note, if I sound a little bit different, maybe a little bit stuffy, it's because I'm feeling slightly under the weather. Hopefully it's not too big of a distraction, but just letting you guys know that. I should be fine in less than a week's time. So, yeah. This week, I thought I'd tackle one of my favorite shows that is hopefully coming off hiatus soon, Rick and Morty. Now, if you haven't seen this show, well, fix that right now. I'll be fine. Seriously. Call in sick for a day, binge the roughly 7 hours and 42 minutes of animated gold, and then come back here because we're talking about what's in store next for this season. If you're not gone yet, then be warned, for we are entering spoiler territory. The end of Season 2 saw an unexpected development in the form of what appears to be an overarching plot within the show's canon. Up until now, most episodes could be treated as their own standalone stories, with maybe perhaps fun references to previous events like Tammy and Birdperson in Get Swifty.
I don't know what humans eat.
You know what this human eats.
Don't be gross, Tammy.
Bird.
Or the parasite crystals in Total Recall and Morty Night Run. The latter example being theorized as a way to show that those episodes take place with another Rick and not the C-137 one we've been following all other episodes. Season 2 leaves us, though, with Rick turning himself in so his family can go back to their relatively normal lives on Earth while he rots in prison. And I'm not going to go into great detail about how I think Season 3 will start, since there are a lot of ways it could go, but I think it's safe to say that Rick will be a free man on the lam once again after maybe an episode or two. The real question that I want to tackle is, what happens after that? Assuming Rick gets busted out, where does he go from there? Earth, as we saw at the end of Season 2, is now a part of the galactic government and has completely changed by the time the Smiths return. So with Earth being what it is now, can Rick really go back and hope to keep a low profile? Possibly. But we know Rick Sanchez, and he hasn't been afraid to hop realities in the past when things have gotten tough. And there's evidence to suggest that the time we see this in the show isn't his first.
What's that? Who's that baby?
But for him to just hit that reset button seems like too big of a cop-out after the ending we were given. It could happen, but if it does, I expect it to only be a mini arc before Rick decides to hop back to C-137. But there could also be an issue with him choosing to tough it out back on Earth. Part of the fun of Rick and Morty is seeing these wacky sci-fi and fantasy adventures be balanced with a more down-to-earth, pun intended, B-story. It in turn makes the show feel more relatable while still maintaining the exotic pieces that make the show truly unique. By having Earth now a part of that sci-fi backdrop, I think you lose that more grounded and relatable aspect. Now, I trust the writers and creators of the show, so it's entirely possible that this could work. A suburban family having to deal with their daily struggles just now with aliens for neighbors and whatnot? It could be very interesting. Or maybe they go with a half cop-out and the Smiths are all implanted with some chip that makes them see aliens as humans, and that's just how the galactic government deals with racism. There are a lot of directions it could go. One idea that I have, in a way splitting the difference with the previous two, could see Rick on the run for maybe the entire season. Through some mishaps, it's just Rick and Morty on their own, running from the law while Jerry, Beth, and Summer are left to deal with life on this new Earth. This could provide some very good opportunities for more character development between the titular duo. I can see a scenario where Rick is prepping to hop worlds again and Morty tries to convince him otherwise, begging for him to try and come up with a better plan. And that then takes over as the main story arc while Rick and Morty continue on their own serialized adventures episode to episode, culminating in some finale where said plan is implemented. I will grant that perhaps this is a little too story-driven for the show, but Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland have managed to keep us on our toes thus far, and I see no inherent reason why this couldn't work. But what do you guys think is more likely to happen? Or do you have your own completely different ideas about what will eventually play out? Let me know down below or in the straw poll I'll have. I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this episode of On Geek. Again, sorry I am a little ill. I should be fine to go. Schedule for next week might be a little different. I've got a wedding to go to, so we'll see. I'll try and have something ready for you guys. Thank you for listening. Be sure to click like and subscribe and share this video around. Love you guys. Goodbye.